I'm one of the leaders going from Solihull County to the World Scout Jamboree in Korea in 2023. I'm currently an Assistant Explorer Leader at Attenborough ESU over in Solihull Blythe District, and I'm a secondary school science teacher for my day job.
Hi, my name is Mark. I'm the other Solihull leader going on the Jamboree. I'm currently the Assistant Cub Leader and Assistant Scout Leader at Out Solihull Group in Cole District, and I currently work and study in the zoobiology field. So, a bit of information about the unit. Our unit is made up of 4 adults and 36 young people. Solihull County will have half of the unit, which makes 2 patrols, made up of 2 leaders and 18 young people. This means there are 18 places for eligible scouts or explorers in Solihull. We're also joined this evening by James and Elliot, who are the Coventry leaders for the SoliCov unit. We anticipate that a lot of the lead up to the Jamboree will take place as the 2 Solihull patrols.
So, what is a World Scout Jamboree? It is 50,000 scouts from around the world camping together on one site. There was 152 nations that attended the last World Scout Jamboree in 2019. It's adventurous activities, cultural experiences and global projects. There are ceremonies and stadium experiences. There are also extra events for UK Scouts in addition to the main Jamboree camp. A World Scout Jamboree takes place once every 4 years in a different country. That means Scouts will only be eligible to be our participant once. So the last World Scout Jamboree was held in West Virginia in the United States in 2019. So here's an overview of the camp experience.
So with us tonight we have Ben, who was a participant on the last Jamboree. So we're now going to pass you over to him to hear a little bit more about his experience.
Hi everyone, I'm Ben. I went on the last Jamboree, as Mark's just said, and I'm here to tell you why you should all try and go on it. So first of all, talk about the fundraising in the lead-up to Jamboree. There was a lot of bag packing, quiz nights, race nights and games nights as examples of what we did to raise the money. Now, the bag packs might be regular, like we did, I think, one every few weeks or one every week, depending on the time. Then, obviously, events like quiz nights, race nights, game nights, we might do one a month, something like that, but regular enough that you raise the money, but you're not constantly fundraising every day. It sounds like a lot to fundraise, and it is, but once you start doing it, and once you get used to, doing the bag packs and organising events and doing those events, you just get used to it, and it doesn't end up being that bad. Another part of the preparation is all the training camps and evenings we did. So we did lots of camps. We went to Wales, in that one in the middle there. We went down to London, and we did all cool things like that. So that was our experiences of being together as a unit, making friends, learning how to work well with each other so we can make the best out of our Jamboree. We also had a lot of other meetings, like in the other pictures, so you can see where we're learning things like first aid, the first aid that we'd need. So, for example, on the American camp, there was a risk of bears, so we'd need to know what to do if we came across a bear. And thankfully none of us ever did, but we would have known exactly what to do if we got into that situation. And then, like I said, just learn new skills. So on all those camps, we did things like tomahawk throwing. I remember that, I enjoyed that, but all these good things, that's fun in itself, learning leading to the Jamboree. And the actual Jamboree itself, you meet like so many other people from around the world that you might never see before, because there's 50,000 people from 152 countries, like you said. So the amount of new cultures and new people you can meet is just immense. Done a lot of swapping. That was fun. So I think you can see Simon, who's the leader on the last one, brought a lot of things he swapped. So things like neckers, badges, shirts, even bags. And that's fun to just come home with a memento from your Jamboree. It's a very picturesque site. So it was in America, and I imagine it definitely will be in South Korea. It was amazing to just be on a massive camp, hardly a campsite, just, I don't even know what to call it, but it's almost like you've got 10 campsites put in one, because it's that big. So that was, we camped next to Americans and Taiwanese people. So camping next to the Taiwanese people was really interesting, because not many of them spoke much English. We didn't speak much Taiwanese or Mandarin, but we managed to get along. We swapped things, like I said. They gave us some of their bubble tea, and we had fun, even though we could hardly communicate. Other things we did, we had dinner with units from other countries. So some of us went to a Brazilian unit, others went to a Japanese unit, and we had food that they cooked for us, which was really nice. I went to the Japanese unit, and they even taught us a bit of their dancing, which was just really fun. Other things, it sounds simple, but everyone's friendly, because the 50,000 scouts there, all of them have been selected like you would be, so they're all really nice people, and you can get to know just anyone. Like, if you walk into a shower or something, you could get to know 5 new people if you wanted to. So we also went to New York and Washington DC, which we were lucky about, with Big City Adventure. So we stayed in each of those for a few days, did some sightseeing, and saw America outside of the Jamboree. And we also lived with a cub group in Canada, where we saw the Niagara Falls, which is not the next slide. But all of these amazing experiences that we managed to do. So yeah, these are some of the pictures from our Jamboree. There's Washington DC. There's some of us walking up to a ceremony. Seems a regimented, people singing songs, but it's just a lot of fun. There's Niagara Falls. And yeah, there's no more thing. Yeah, just more stuff around the Jamboree camp. That was us leaving, that's a bit sad. But yeah, what I got out of it, the main part of it really. It's hard to explain what you get out of an experience like this, because it's not just the actual Jamboree itself, the 2 or 3 weeks you're there, that is beneficial for you. It's the 2 years leading up to it and the Jamboree itself that are very important, because you know, like I said, in the preparation you learn loads of new skills, like first aid and all that, that will be useful for the rest of your life. You will learn about new cultures that will help you the rest of your life. But the main thing is just a sense of fulfilment, really, because you know that over those 2 years you've worked hard to fundraise and to prepare, and you spent a good amount of your time. But once you've had that amazing experience, you know that all that time you've put in has come to good use. And yeah, like it's hard to explain what you get out of it, but it really is just one of the best experiences you can have, because you will just learn so much, meet so many new people, make a load of new friends and have a load of fun. I think finally, yeah, it's just a picture of it at the start and at the end. I mean, you can see just how much we've grown as a unit, because, I mean, we're all so young at the start, but when we're at the end, we're all a very tight-knit group, all good friends, and we managed to make the best out of our Jamboree. So.
Thanks, Ben, for that. If you have got any questions for Ben about his Jamboree experience, he will be able to answer questions for you at the end. And we're now going to show you a clip from the 23rd World Scout Jamboree, which was held in Japan in 2015.
Think I can fly. Think I can fly when I'm with you. My arms are wide, catching fire as the wind blows. I know that I'm rich enough for pride. I see $1 billion in your eyes, even if we're strangers till we die.
Alice was a participant on the 2015 Jamboree in Japan. She can't join us tonight, but has sent a video describing her Jamboree experience.
Hi, my name's Alice and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my Jamboree experience. I was lucky enough to go to the 23rd World Scout Jamboree in Japan in 2015 with one patrol. So there was 9 of us from Solihull and then Tim as our leader, and we joined one patrol from guiding across the West Midlands and also 2 patrols from Shropshire. Of course, after getting selected, the main thing on everybody's minds for the next 18 months was fundraising. It is a daunting task to start with, but it really helped the process of getting to know each other. There are lots of varied opportunities and ways you can fundraise, like bagpacking, quiz nights, applying for funding from companies, and various other things. We found particularly the sweet stall at the county camp worked very well. We had a quite captive audience for that one. In terms of time commitment, it averaged a couple of events a month over the course of a year, and we managed to get all of our fundraising done by the Christmas of 2014. During this time, we also had unit training because we met up with the other patrols, which, as I said, were from guides and also from Shropshire Scouts. During our training, we focused on learning about the culture of Japan, things like the climate, which similarly to South Korea, it's very different over there. It was very warm, very humid. So we had a lot of focus on learning how to prepare ourselves for that and how to manage our health and well-being while we're over there. We also looked at expectations and the types of things we should expect from the events and activities. And I also had an opportunity to do some media training so that we could best promote and publicise what we're up to. After what felt like no time at all, it was time to actually travel to the Jamboree. So we took a flight from Birmingham Airport connecting in Dubai, and in Dubai we met our first other scouts from Argentina who were also connecting through on the same flights, which was very exciting, gave us a bit of a pre-insight into what we were about to find when we arrived at the Jamboree site. Once we arrived in Tokyo, we travelled to a smaller city nearby where we were actually staying for a couple of days before the event. We were taken around the local community and to the local tourist sites by a scout group from that area, and we stayed with their families while we were there. After that, we travelled back to Tokyo on the train and then got the bullet train to where the actual main site was. And once we arrived, we saw the scale and the immensity of all of it. While there, we had the opening ceremony, which was really good fun, lots of music, lots of dancing, and just lots of excited scouts getting ready for the next 2 weeks of having fun. While at the Jamboree site, we took part in lots of different activities, from kind of more fun sports types activities, such as like water activities and cycling, to ones to make you think about what it is like living in different countries. So we'd go around and people would have things about their culture and where they're from, and you could experience this. We also got the opportunity to travel to Hiroshima for the day and to go around the museum and the peace site there to understand more of what happened and show our respect, and kind of that whole theme of peace and unity was part of our Jamboree, so this was a really good experience. We also got the opportunity to travel to a local town where we got to experience more of the historic culture of Japan's. They showed us some traditional puppet theatre and also mochi making, which is a kind of rice dish that's quite traditional in Japan. Then all of a sudden, that 2 weeks had flown by, meeting new people from elsewhere. We also had a cricket match against the Australians, which I'm glad to tell you we won. And it was time for the closing ceremony, after which we got back on the bullet train and went back to Tokyo. And while there, we got to take part in some sumo wrestling demonstrations and also karaoke, as well as just explore the gigantic city, which is Tokyo. I think some of the key memories I have from the Jamboree itself is the heat and humidity. When we first got there, we thought that even walking a few hundred metres would tire us out the whole day, but we did start to get used to it. A big thing was about drinking enough liquids and rehydrating, and I think that'll be very similar for South Korea. But through your training, as I mentioned, you'll get used to it and you'll find out all the things you need to do to take part fully and enjoy the experience. Everything didn't stop as soon as we got back. There was still lots of things to do post-Jamboree, and we stayed in touch even afterwards with everybody we went with. A big part of it was sharing our experience with other people and kind of teaching the lessons that we learnt and just sharing that experience. We met up as a unit for a final reunion and had a nice formal dinner, which was a change to seeing everybody in their camping gear. And it's also inspired me to do other international travel activities with Scouts. So I went to the World Scout Moot in Iceland in 2017, which is similar to the Jamboree but slightly smaller scale and for adult participants, so 18 to 25 instead of 14 to 18. Overall, it was an absolutely amazing experience and really changed my views and was something that I'd never be able to experience apart from doing this with Scouts. So I very much encourage you to apply. Thanks.
I was sharing her experience, but now back to Korea.
So we're going to give you an overview into what we know so far about the Korea Jamboree. Dates will be held in the school summer holidays and we will be on site in South Korea from the 1st to the 12th of August 2023. There will also be pre and or post events. These dates are yet to be confirmed. All participants will be explorers at the time of the Jamboree, so you must be born between the 22nd of July 2005 and the 31st of July 2009.
The final participant cost for the Jamboree has not yet been confirmed by headquarters. However, based on experience, we anticipate this will be in the region of £5,500. This will include everything from the flights and travel, insurance, food, tents or accommodation, uniform, some unit kit like bags, and all unit training. We will be fundraising hard between now and the Jamboree, primarily as 2 Solihull patrols, to reduce this cost as much as possible. This means that everyone will need to be fully involved, including families of participants. The more we raise, the more we reduce the cost per participant. If cost is the only barrier to participation, there are grants available on a case-by-case basis. Cost should not be a reason to miss out on this once-in-a-lifetime experience.
The location of the Jamboree will be held in Saemangum in South Korea. So a little bit more information about Saemangum. It's a brand new site which is being constructed just for the Jamboree, and it's around 2.5 hours drive from the airport. The campsite is flat and overlooks the sea, and it has views of the mountains. It's in close proximity to a national park, and the site is about 8.8 kilometres squared, measuring 6.2 kilometres by 1.7 kilometres.
The climate in South Korea is a bit different to here in the UK. It will be hot and humid, with an average day temperature of 30 degrees C and an average night time temperature of 20 degrees C. The average humidity is 75%, and the average rainfall is 0.8 millimetres.
The Jamboree Programme is based around 5 key areas, the first of these being Scouting for Life. This involves developing leadership and life skills through scouting activities and to challenge participants to learn about global issues and becoming active citizens.
The second key area is smart and scientific. Participants will be able to experience the future through everything from robot technology to virtual reality. The programme will focus on STEAM skills, offering young people the chance to join in activities and learn about the fields of science, technology, engineering, the arts and mathematics.
The third area is safe and secured. The programme will be designed to prevent and respond to communicable diseases, natural disasters and other emergencies. We also have something called the Disaster Safety Programme, which will not only involve the safety responsibility of participants, but will also help them to grow into citizens who can act as responders in the case of emergencies.
The fourth key area is sustainability, learning about the Sustainable Development Goals and taking action for peace and sustainable development in our communities. Scouts will learn how to connect with nature, create a culture of peace and dialogue, promote diversity and inclusion and more.
And the final key area is ACT, which stands for Adventure, Culture and Tradition. The Jamboree programme will offer various adventure activities that use the environment around Symangum, including the mountains, rivers and seas, to enable Scouts to connect with and discover nature. The event will also engage participants in cross-cultural exchange to experience the best of Korean culture and tradition, from K-pop music to bibimbap food to the Hangul alphabet and much more.
On-site life is intense and exhausting, but there's always something going on. I know this firsthand, having been lucky enough to be a participant at the 22nd World Scout Jamboree in Sweden in 2011. Not only is there a timetable programme of activities, but there are also drop-in activities throughout the Jamboree, and there's more to do than can realistically be done. There's an opening and closing ceremony and another stadium experience on Culture Day with a festival feel. Oh. The best part of the Jamboree, by far, is being surrounded by people from so many places. Be prepared to do a lot of socialising, even on your way to the shower, as Ben said. We're very lucky that English will likely be the common language for a lot of participants, so you'll be able to converse with literally thousands of Scouts from around the world. Oh. The SoliCov unit will eat together on Jamboree, and we will have a duty patrol each day. So when on duty, the patrol will be responsible for shopping at the on-site supermarket, preparing the food for the day, and tidying and washing up. There might even be the opportunity to cook with another unit nearby.
So we are hoping that as the Jamboree is over a year away, it has the best possible chance of going ahead. The organising committee are putting in place plans should some restrictions remain, but hope to proceed as scheduled. The UK contingent team are also working closely with organisers on this. The UK contingent are also looking at travel and insurance policies in the event that COVID-19 impacts on the Jamboree. So here's a look at the journey to the Jamboree. Applications are now open and the deadline for applications is Sunday the 7th of November at 8 p.m. And this will be followed by a selection day on the 13th of November. As soon as the selection day is completed and we know who's coming with us, fundraising will begin immediately. And we'll also have several unit training events which may involve camps and other day activities. We'll be involving the county in our journey every step of the way. Of course, we have the actual Jamboree in 2023. And then post-Jamboree, we ask that participants share their experience like Ben has done tonight. This can be by presentations, just selling it to the next group of potential participants.
So what is it that we're looking for then? We're looking for young people who can benefit the most from attending, who will give back to Scouting and their local community, who have the ability to work as part of a team, can think big on global and local issues, can dream wild on how to tackle these issues, and can act together as a unit and as a worldwide movement. How do you apply? Yeah. Well, you can't feel the lights. I see where you're turning it off here. So applications, as we said, are already open. We did do another information on Monday, so we opened applications then, and we have already had some in. So it's at this URL here. I've got a slip for you to take away tonight with that on, so don't worry, you will have access to that. It's also on the county website as well, so you can apply directly through there.
Thank you.